Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we dive into the epic wars of kings that have shaped our world. Today, we're journeying back to a time of grand ambitions, clashing swords, and royal rivalries that redrew the map of Europe. We're talking about the 100 Years' War, a monumental conflict between England and France that wasn't just one war, but a series of brutal campaigns spanning over a century. It all kicked off in 1337. Imagine this, King Edward III of England, a man with a serious claim to the French throne through his mother, decides he's not just King of England anymore. He wants France too. On the other side, you have Philip VI of France, the first of the Valois dynasty, who's not about to let an English king waltz in and take his crown. This wasn't just a squabble over a title. It was about land, power, and national pride. The early years were defined by stunning English victories. At the Battle of Crécy in 1346, English longbowmen, considered the super weapon of their day, decimated the French knights. 10 years later, at Poitiers, the same story unfolded. But this time, the English captured the French king himself, John II. Can you imagine the shockwaves that sent across Europe? France was thrown into chaos. It seemed like England was unstoppable. But a kingdom doesn't give up that easily. A new generation of French leadership, inspired by figures like Bertrand du Guesclin, started to push back. They avoided big, open battles and instead used guerrilla tactics, slowly but surely reclaiming lost territory. The war wasn't a constant blaze, it was a slow burn, with periods of fragile peace punctuated by intense fighting. Then came one of history's most iconic figures, Henry V of England. Young, charismatic, and a brilliant military commander, he reignited the war with a vengeance. In 1415, at the legendary Battle of Agincourt, his outnumbered and exhausted English army achieved an almost miraculous victory against a much larger French force. It was a day of mud, blood, and unbelievable English triumph. Henry V was so successful that he forced the French king to name him as his heir. It looked like England had finally won. But destiny had other plans. Just when it seemed France was lost, a young peasant girl from a small village claimed to hear divine voices. Her name was Joan of Arc. Her faith and fierce determination rallied the demoralized French army. She famously lifted the siege of Orléans, turning the tide of the war in a way no one could have predicted. Her capture and tragic execution only served to make her a martyr, a symbol of French resistance. Inspired by Joan's spirit, the French fought on with renewed vigor. They modernized their army, embracing new technologies like artillery, which made traditional castles obsolete. Slowly, methodically, they drove the English out of France, territory by territory. By 1453, the war was finally over. After more than 100 years of conflict, England was left with only the port of Calais. The 100 Years' War reshaped both nations forever. It forged a stronger sense of national identity in both England and France, solidified the power of their monarchies, and paved the way for the modern states we know today. It's a gripping tale of ambition, disaster, and incredible resilience. What do you think was the most critical turning point in the war? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more epic stories of royal warfare. We'll see you next time.